It's Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe, and tonight, canceling John Gruden. When the Oilers left Houston back during the mid-1990s, I picked the Raiders to be my new NFL team. They were an AFL original, had multiple Lombardi trophies under their belt, a working class vibe. You know, Oakland, not Toity San Francisco. All in all, a legendary football team with a rich and storied history, and there was Gruden coaching my new team, and he was good. The Raiders were good, but almost as quickly as I started following the Raiders, Gruden ended up coaching at Tampa Bay, which immediately got its first Super Bowl victory playing against, get this, the Raiders. What a guy. I eventually soured a bit on the gross over-commercialization of the NFL, but noted his ESPN work as an analyst, and he was good doing that. And now he's coaching the Raiders again, and they were playing great. I really did like him. And he's destroyed his career. An NFL internal investigation into the toxic organizational culture of the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins, a racist moniker if ever there was one, unearthed recent racist, sexist, and homophobic emails Gruden sent the team's owner fairly recently, within the last 3 to 5 years, and not just a little bit racist, sexist, and homophobic, but a lot racist, sexist, and homophobic. In light of this forced revelation of his true self, he apparently understood that he could no longer maintain the ethos necessary for leadership and resigned. Or rather, he was canceled, if you prefer the derogatory right-wing description of what happens these days when prominent conservatives and others get their comeuppance. Really, the entire concept of cancel culture is pretty insidiously brilliant for conservatives. It makes the true victims of oppression disappear in a puff of magic smoke while simultaneously redirecting sympathy toward the oppressor. I've got to admit that I've actually felt this malevolent rhetorical construction, this cancel culture notion, pulling ever so slightly at my free speech sympathies. But cancel culture, as they call it, just isn't about free speech. These canceled people continue to have the freedom to say whatever the hell they want. What's happening is that Gruden and his ilk have lost access to their audience, which means that their voices are no longer prominent. They have been denied leadership roles in our society, and rightly so. Let's consider Gruden again for a moment. It's not simply that he said the words, not a gotcha game where a liberal mafia exercises its secret super Soros powers to gain control. Although what he said is indeed deeply offensive. Fuck you, John Gruden, you racist, sexist, homophobic piece of shit. But it's really way less about the words themselves than what they reveal about the person who said them. There can be no leadership role in our society for a man like Gruden, no prominent voice, no legitimate participation in the marketplace of ideas, no respect, nothing, because we know what kind of man he is. We know what he really wants, what he really thinks, who he really hates, regardless of what he says publicly. I mean, just listen to his defense. He says he didn't mean to hurt anybody. That's what a lot of racists think about their own intentions these days, I imagine, and it's an absurd contradiction. Clearly, Gruden just doesn't get it, and he never will. People like Gruden, all conservatives really, will not deeply consider their worldview that wrongly places cis white men in charge of everything. Cancellation is the only way. And let me tell you, the left really needs to take this concept and run with it. Do it for all of conservatism. These right-wing sons of bitches don't engage in discussion with or even listen to anyone with whom they disagree. There is no talking sense to them. Their ideas must be canceled. Conservatism must be made as socially unacceptable as R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein combined. I think I am now going to embrace fully the conservative phrase cancel culture, because in the end it can only mean the removal of conceptual toxins from our intellectual landscape. Cancel culture must now become a big part of American culture. Let's ram it down their throats. I'm sure the conservatives will love it. I know I will. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. A working class vibe. You know, Oakland, not Toity San Francisco.